Hello and welcome back, friends. My name is Michael Yates. This is the Ridgeview Pod. We are always delighted that you've chosen to take time to spend part of your day with us. As always, friendly reminder to subscribe, ring the bell so that you get notification of our latest episode. I am super excited to welcome Sarah Keil to the Ridgeview Pod.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This has been a long time coming, actually. I
Yes, it really has. I think we've talked about this for quite a few months now.
You were like one of the first folks to encourage Barry Floyd to come on the podcast. And I think he has been the number one guest for 2022.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I would say so.
I told him earlier today when we were recording, I look forward to him being in this seat. And then I can be the guest. So
I think that'd be fun. Nice little switcheroo.
Yes. You guys could have your own discussion.
Who knows what we get into then?
Right. All right. So tell us, Sarah, your role here at the agency and how long have you been with Ridgeview?
So I have been with Ridgeview coming up on 3 years this month, actually. I think it's the 19th. And I am the assistant coordinator of Stepping Stones, which is the Anderson County Psychosocial Rehabilitation Program, PSR for short.
Yes. So I know this has come up a lot on the Ridgeview Pod, our acronyms and names of programs. So let's unpack that.
Yes.
Psychosocial Rehab. What is meant by that?
Yeah, so it sounds very fancy, right? So Psychosocial Rehab is an outpatient program. We lead groups for adults. We have some of our clients are in the residential facilities, and we also have some community members. And we lead mental health groups, wellness groups, interpersonal growth groups. Our goal is to help them learn some of those daily living skills, those symptom management skills, those coping skills, to help them just be as successful as possible while helping them manage their illness and learn how to better manage their illness.
Wow. That sounds very important just in living daily life.
Yes.
So to be eligible for this, you need to be it's a 10 care eligible benefit. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And folks who also are on behavioral health safety net, they qualify.
Yes.
But if someone has commercial insurance or wants to pay with cash, that's...
Unfortunately, at this time, we do not accept that.
Yeah.
I don't know about possibly like getting people on safety net and then getting them access to our programs. I think that sometimes that is an option.
Okay. So you mentioned here in Anderson County, but Ridgeview has 4 different programs, right?
Yes, there are 4 different PSR programs. There's one in Roane County, one in Campbell County, and one in Scott County.
All right. Now, just walk me through like a day in the life of the program. Members come in.
Yes.
At what time, and just kind of walk me through what a day, how it's organized, and what might be on the agenda.
Yes. So members get there around 8:15. Our first group starts at 8:30. We'll do usually a wellness group from 8:30 to 9:30. So that can include like seated chair exercises inside, walking. Today, some of our members had the ability to go to a park, so they got to like walk outside and just see something a little bit different. If Barry is there, he does our wellness group for that day. So at 9:30, we'll take a short break. We'll serve a snack. They'll get to go out and smoke if they want to. Around 9:45, we'll come back in and we'll get started on our next. It's kind of like a combined 2 groups at this time. Our schedule has changed a lot since COVID.
Yes,
so
of course.
We've had to be very adaptable, yes. So like Mondays are symptom management and emotions, my reactions. So we get to talk about different illnesses, the symptoms that come with them, how you manage those symptoms. And then emotions, my reactions is like managing our emotions, managing our anger. How do we recognize what emotion we're feeling? And then what do we do with that emotion? And how do we handle it from there?
Yeah, very good. I mean, a couple things strike me. I seem to recall and you're right, the pandemic, COVID, caused a lot of flexibility and adaptation. But I seem to recall I saw you on a television screen. You were being piped
Yes.
into Agape for their
Yes.
members, right?
Yes, and I actually also did that this past week.
Okay.
So at times when we are not able to have all of our members in person, since Agape is in Knoxville, they're a little further out. This past week, they were not able to be there in person. And so we do offer Zoom services. So I was doing Zoom groups with them from usually 12:30 to 3 in the afternoon. And with that, it's obviously a little different because we can't do all the same things that we do when we're in person. But we still try to get them very like engaged and interactive. And we'll still talk about wellness. So the other day we talked about high blood pressure. I was like, okay, how many of you have high blood pressure? Like, who needs to learn about this? And like half of them raised their hands. And I said, okay, great. Like, let's learn about this and how to like try and avoid getting high blood pressure, like how to manage it before it becomes more of an issue.
Yeah.
So we did that. I was having him give me like motivational songs that they listen to. Like, how do you stay motivated? How do you improve your mood? How can you turn around a bad day?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
those kind of skills.
Yeah. It seems like, I mean, just, one of the things that the pandemic seems to have really helped us be more mindful of are the different ways in which people connect, and I know virtual and Zoom has its downside, but for folks that, that social isolation, one way to overcome that was by connecting through that kind of technology.
Yes.
So that seems really, really important. I also recall this was pre-pandemic. Everything's now going to be, in
Right.
time. Was that pre-pandemic or post? I recall going out to Fresh Start in Roane.
Yep.
There was a period of time where it seemed like they were having guests come in and do certain classes, and I think I did one on social media.
Okay.
The pros and cons, or the ills and benefits of social media. So even those kinds of things, having people come in and do a little class on, I mean, it seems like a great opportunity for other members of the community to also come in and provide an educational opportunity. Now, at one point, I think you, Kathy, and I were doing a presentation at Roane State for interns, maybe for the occupational
Yes,
therapy.
it was for the occupational therapy program, I think.
Now, do we still do that? Do we have?
We do. I had 2 different interns from the OTA program this like winter, spring, actually. I think they were with me for about 10 weeks.
Great.
They were both phenomenal. We were able to have like really good discussions about just like mental health and what the program did. And I think they were able to learn a lot about mental health. They didn't quite get to practice their OT skills quite as much. But they both said that they really benefited and really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed having them. The members loved having them.
That's great. It's been I don't know how maybe we got out of that routine. I'm sure it had to do with the pandemic, but it made me wonder, do we still have that relationship with Roane State and that class?
Yes. They also did, I think, get a new like intern supervisor.
Okay.
But yeah, she reached out, and I would like to think that we have a pretty good relationship with them. I think it went pretty well.
Yeah.
And it is really great just like having somebody different in there.
Yes.
And just exposing other people to like what we do and what happens in the mental health field, and for us to be able to learn more about other fields and how we can all like work together and interact well.
Yeah. So the folks that are interested in seeing if this program is for them, I mean, most of the referrals come internally. So either as people, maybe part of their discharge plan from the hospital, or they've come in for an intake and the assessing clinician has determined this program may be best for you. But if by chance someone is watching this and is thinking, I wonder if that's for me, how should we guide them? If they're not currently a client of Ridgeview, they should come in for an intake.
Yes, come in for an intake. And then from there, of course, they will help refer you to different services. So we do need a referral in order to attend our program. And that can come from a variety of places, honestly.
So if, I'm on 10 Care, I watch this, I think, gosh, that sounds, the way Sarah has laid out what they do might really help me get more active and engaged and self-determination, with my life. I would come into Ridgeview during the walk-in clinic and maybe during that intake actually express, this is what I think I need because I saw this, can you connect me with, okay.
Yes.
All right, great. I am also interested, stress and anxiety is very commonplace nowadays. And I think it's one of the things Barry and I were discussing earlier was never stop learning. And so I'm always curious how people take care of themselves. So you've been with Ridgeview now for almost your 3-year anniversary is coming up. How do you take care of yourself? You've been through a very difficult period of time with the pandemic. Our industry's sort of been in constant flux and adaptability during this time. How does Sarah take care of Sarah?
That is a great question. It is a balance I am always trying to find. I also, after I finish work for the day, most of the time I go home and I work for my master's program. So that also cuts into some of my me time. One of my really big things that I just do if I'm feeling very overwhelmed or very stressed is I find some body of water. So lakes, rivers, bodies of water are always my go-to. I just find them so relaxing and so peaceful, and just something about being out in nature and hearing the water and just kind of being present is always very helpful for me. This year I have kind of gotten into going on walks more. So still that being out in nature and just trying to be more present and notice what's going on around me and just step away from all of the stress and all of the overwhelm. I enjoy a bunch of different types of workouts. What I'm doing kind of depends on my mood. I danced for a really long time. So I always love those type of movements. This morning, I had my members doing some boxing, seated boxing exercises. I did a few kickboxing workout classes, which I also enjoy. Movement is always very helpful.
Yeah.
I love music. I also have 2 cats at home. I like to spend time with them.
Wow. You've got that. That's great. Well, you've touched on several things there. One, I mean, as Barry and I always discuss, an active body helps promote more optimal mental health. The proximity of water, previous episode we talked about our 5K. So this time it's on the Melton Hill Greenway, which is right along that body of water.
It's a beautiful walking path.
It is. It's really, really nice. Hope folks check that out. So does this, mindfulness practices, obviously very important. I'm curious, your master's degree, is there a particular field of study that you're most interested in?
Yes. So it's a master's of social work. I start my concentration year next year, which is mental health and trauma. And then eventually in the future, I hope to do therapy with children, specifically focusing on childhood trauma. I just think that so many of our experiences as children shape us for the rest of our lives, and how we handle things and how we are able to recognize our emotions or not recognize them the way that we connect with other people, our relationships with other people, so much of it can just go back to like our experiences as we were growing up. And so, yes, my hope
Yeah.
is to just really be able to help children figure it out when they're younger so that
Yeah.
they're better able to manage things as adults.
Great. So where is it you're working full time,
Yes.
and are you a full-time student as well, or part-time student?
I'm a full-time student. I would say it's a 9-quarter program, so it's still just about like 2 years. I have 2 or 3 classes a week. I'm usually about 10 credits, but they're quarters instead of semesters. So
Okay. That's a load. I'm glad.
it's a load.
Yeah, I'm glad you're keenly aware of self-care. I've had the good fortune of going through the Building Strong Brains Tennessee initiative, which is now moved into just a no longer initiative, but a standard educational practice around ACEs, so adverse childhood experiences, and certainly toxic stress and trauma experiences certainly are a huge component of that. And if you haven't spent time learning about Bessel van der Kolk and the body keeps the score around trauma experiences, it's I'm sure you'll get exposure to that soon.
I have the book and the workbook, but I have not gone through them yet
All right.
because I just feel like it is going to be a very like deep mental undertaking and it just hasn't seemed like a good time yet, but I am sure that I will get into it sooner or later.
Yes, indeed. It's been a topic that's come up several times on this. And one of the earlier guests, I don't know, a month, 2 months ago, Andrew Lufkin, who used to be with Ridgeview and is now with the veterinary college at UT.
Oh, okay.
Social worker there. One of our topics was about the importance of pets. And so you've got 2 cats as well, and how therapeutic that can be. And so you're doing all the right things, Sarah.
I'm trying. Some days are better than others, but
Yes, we all have them. Well, this is a lot of great information. I appreciate helping our listeners also understand where you are in your vocational calling. So that is wonderful.
yes.
We also like to delve into a few rapid fire questions. They end up not being rapid. It's because we linger on them. But I borrow these from a podcast that I follow, Greg Bennett, and it just helps provide a little insight into our guests that maybe is more fun and not quite as clinical. So will you humor me?
I will.
All right.
I don't know how good my answers will be, but
So what's your favorite family vacation?
my favorite family vacation. I don't know that I have like a specific. I was telling my mom just the other day, yeah, this is not rapid fire.
No.
That I really appreciated their like commitment to at least like being able to like try to take us on vacation, even if they weren't always like big vacations. Actually, I will say that my favorite vacation at this point was a few years ago. We went up to Traverse City, Michigan. And because they had been there at one point and they wanted to like take us back, and we drove up and saw my uncle in Chicago, and we went to Traverse City, and Traverse City is a really cute place. If nobody has been, I would highly recommend it. One of my friends was there recently, and I was like, yes, like it is just very peaceful and very cute. And I don't know. I think that vacations are very important, but I also think it's important to acknowledge that like vacations don't always have to be like big things. Even just like going somewhere different and spending time with the people you love is just very important for overall well-being.
Yeah, very nicely said. Just the way you answered that made me think of the way in which you value ritual and routine, and that there is something sacred about time that is set aside to do that kind of thing.
Yes.
Even if it's once a year, or whatever it may look like in your family circumstances. They've certainly become a rich reservoir of connection, certainly in my life and my family's life. So, yeah, cool. What are you currently watching on a streaming service?
Ooh.
Like, are you one of these folks that watches a series of on Netflix or what have you?
I like to, and I try to. Recently, I just haven't really been in anything because it just hasn't been super feasible for me.
You're pretty busy.
I think the most recent series. Oh, actually, the most recent series that I watched that I would watch like at nighttime to unwind was, I think, called Broke versus Baller. And it was these two, I think they're originally YouTubers. They're called the Vaga Brothers, and they like travel all around the world. And they did this series on Hulu where they would go to a city, and one of them would have like a small amount of money to spend, and one of them would have a large amount of money to spend.
Okay.
And then they would follow both of them as they saw like how much or little they could like survive on and still explore a city and like see something new. And I really liked that because, like I said before, like vacations don't always have to be a really big thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for people to be able to see like, oh, I can like see new places and do new things even without having to spend like obscene amounts of money.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check that out. Let's see here. Who would you want to play you in a movie of your life?
I have no idea. Barry warned me this question might be coming, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
Very.
I told him I was nervous.
You're doing great.
I have no idea. I would possibly say, just because she's one of my favorite actresses, is Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, yeah.
I just think, plus she's also from Nashville, like I was, and like is, Southern. And I also just love her commitment to like starring women and like getting women in the film industry more as like actual roles.
Yeah. Sure.
So, I mean, I guess I would say probably her. I don't really know how that would be feasible, but like in a dream world.
Yeah. No, that's I think that's great, and for all the reasons you just mentioned, her values and principles seem to be in line with things that you would hold important. Well, you mentioned music as being a source of self-care. What decade of music is best?
Oh, I am so not going to comment on that. I don't know which one is best.
Which one do you listen to the most?
Well, I kind of listen to all of them. I also like love new releases. I like just love new things. So like every Friday is the day that all of the like new music is released.
Okay.
So like on Spotify, it's New Music Friday. So like Fridays are my new music day.
Okay.
And I just listen to
All right.
whatever the new music is.
Wasn't it a week ago today that Beyonce's new...
She did, and I still have not listened to it.
Okay.
So I don't have
haven't
reviews
either.
on that. I've heard good things on the socials, but I personally have not listened to it. It kind of depends on my mood that day for what I'm going to listen to.
Yeah.
But I love all like genres of music. I'm not going to say that the current decades of music are like the best music. I don't necessarily think that the music being released now is like the best that there is, but it's very catchy and it does have that going for it.
All right. Fair enough. Should pineapple be allowed on pizza?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Do you like pizza?
I like pizza, yeah.
Okay. All right. Greatest movie of all time?
I'm not a huge like movie buff. It's not that I don't like them. I just haven't watched a lot of. I have no idea. I
Maybe,
don't have like a strong feeling on that.
maybe a Reese Witherspoon movie.
I mean, like if we're talking about me, like I'm gonna choose Legally Blonde. My favorite quote from Legally Blonde that I have been able to incorporate into my practice is exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy, and happy people don't shoot their husbands. They just don't.
Well, there we have it. Maybe that's the note we should end on right there. That's perfect. Sarah, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah.
This has been fun. I hope you realize it's nothing to worry about, and you'll do this again.
I will. No, I had a blast. This is a good time.
All right. Very good. Really appreciate it. And always appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for spending time with us. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Ring the bell so that you get notification of our next episode. And take good care of yourself. See you soon.